Good evening, Anastasia.
Hi, Ioana.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Today, we will do together with Anastasia the investigative cycle number 281, the protocol number one. Anastasia will be your support telepath, and I will be your hypnosis operator and student of the Calogero Grifasi Academy. If you want to sponsor us, you can send an email to investigations@calogerography.com. This will allow you to join us, to be with us during these investigations, and to also ask your questions on the topic. The topic that Anastasia does not know because no support telepath knows the subject to not contaminate the information. We have, as always, the fixed part, which is composed of fixed questions, and we're doing these investigations in multiple countries, in multiple languages. So we'd receive the same protocol, the same questions. We cannot modify or deepen them. We can do that in the second part, the free exploration part. And Anastasia will give more details about her perceptions from the first part. And last but not least, if you want to contact me, if you want a personal session with me, with us, you can send an email to ioanasima.hre@gmail.com. And also, all our social media links are in the description box below. That was my that was what I had to say. Anastasia, now you can get ready, you can get comfortable. Very good. And you can take 3 deep breaths. And you can slowly start your relaxation process. I will count from 3 to 1 while you start to relax deeply. As I begin, let each number guide you into a state of calm where your body becomes heavy and your thoughts leave your mental body. With every breath you take, all the tension in your body disappears, and you will feel better and better and more relaxed. 3, 3. You can feel a warm wave starting from the top of your feet and going up through all your muscles in your body, relaxing them, calming them until it reaches the top of your head, releasing the pressure, the tightness from your shoulders, your neck, your chest. 2, 2, 2. Notice how your breath becomes slow and effortless. And with each inhale, your muscles relaxes, your body relaxes even more. And with each exhale, your mind is clearer, quieter. Wow. allow yourself to sink completely into this moment. Your body is still and heavy, and your mind is empty and calm. On three, go back to April 28th, 2025, at the time of the blackout, and tell me where the electricity that was available to meet the needs of Spain, Portugal, and some areas of the southern France is located.
Can you repeat the last part of the question? I didn't really understand it.
Tell me where the electricity that was available to meet the needs of Spain, Portugal, and part of France is located on the 28th of April, 2025.
Mm. Hmm. I'm perceiving some type of site, like a construction site. Perceiving like a deeper hole in the ground of quite a large size. That has some electric netting um, across its surface. It's like spreads in the hole. Yes, that's what I'm perceiving right now. This construction site.
Very good. I count again from 1 to 3. In the meantime, look for the cause of the blackout of April 28th in relation to the physical plane. 1, 2, 3.
Mm. I perceive like a clap of the hands and a switch that happened, but um, in the physical as well as the metaphysical, it was like a synchronicity. In the physical, it appeared like a switch, like turning off the light, literally, but it has a deeper meaning in the metaphysical, and I perceived it being as a change, um, kind of an attempt of changing temporal lines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The next question is now look for the esoteric cause related to the metaphysical level.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what else do you perceive?
Mm. It was like a potential future temporary line that wasn't supposed to manifest itself, but it did, as like some kind of glitch. I see the present temporary line kind of intersecting with that one for a moment, for like seconds, it seems in the metaphysical, but it manifests as longer in the physical. And then it went back to normal. And I'm perceiving that happened because of that construction site or that electrical netting that I saw earlier.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm perceiving for now.
Okay, we'll get into it in the free part. Very good. Were the governments aware of the possible blackout? Tell me everything you perceive about it.
It came to me that 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Some were aware, but some had no clue. So it was more like coded information that was not available to everyone. Only the ones either involved in the project or the ones that were supposed to manage the consequences, potential consequences. Because I'm feeling it was something more spontaneous, like an error.
Okay, very interesting. Observe what is happening to the collective consciousness of the nations involved in the blackout.
Mm. Um, a lot of mm, I do see fear. I also see confusion. But I also see kind of like a wake-up call, if I can say it like that. Um, More like a trigger of awareness. That's more appropriate. It's like mm, adapting to the present, um, adapting to the present. That's how I'll
Mhm.
say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you perceive anything else about the collective consciousness in the blackout?
Mm. For some, it's like I see a portion of it. Um, it's like has almost paused. It's like when you get a shock, an emotional shock,
Mhm.
and you like hold your breath. That's how it felt. It felt like strangling. Um, because with that came thoughts of all the consequences that a potential like blackout that lasts longer can cause and stuff like this.
Mhm. Okay. Are the global geopolitics and the blackout related? What do you perceive?
Hmm. I do perceive that it was a project that had more countries involved. So in that part, it is related because there were many involved in the project that caused this,
Mhm.
even though I perceived it as something more like an error.
Mhm. Go forward to the possible future based on the current conditions, 5th of May 2025, and observe all the implications of the blackout.
Mm, I'm perceiving more people, um, ironically, buying lights. It's like more people are more cautious about stuff, more prepared, I would say, um, much more aware of things that can happen um, nationally or globally. So I see people more prepared.
Mhm. Tell me, is there anything else?
Oh no.
Always based on the current conditions of today, 5th of May 2025, go to the future and tell me if you perceive more blackouts in the world.
Yes, I do. Some of them at this time intentional. And I see multiple. multiple causes.
Mhm.
It's like creating an artificial, how do I say, like a domino effect, um, in a controlling way,
Mhm.
like potentially interrupting some type of events, um, or gatherings, um, or limiting some population, um, some countries of access to electricity to do something in backstage, but it's
Mhm.
not clear to me what.
Okay. What else do you perceive?
That's it for now.
Okay. Well, we finished the fixed part, so we're going to move on with the free exploration part. Come back to the present, to the date of 28th of April, so actually to the past. And relating to what you just said, doing something backstage, do you perceive about this event, this blackout, that something was done backstage?
Exactly that construction site. It was backstage. It's not seen by everybody.
Where do you perceive this construction site
Um,
in the world, like on a map? You can take an observant point of view.
hmm. It actually appears now as two
Mhm.
construction sites, both in the opposite poles.
So North Pole and
Yeah.
South Pole. Do you perceive that these construction sites are in anything related to CERN?
Yes. Um, yes, but it's also something else involved.
What else? You can
Mm,
observe, you can perceive everything.
mm. It's CERN, but it's also military.
How does this electric netting look like?
Um, it's literally like I perceive it as fishing nets.
Mhm.
Mm, it's best association, but they are charged electrically. Um, but also I see two poles, uh, kind of next to this hole in the ground that is covered with the netting.
Is this hole big or small?
It's big.
Okay.
It's big, and there are two poles kind of
Mhm.
opposite to each other,
Yeah.
next to it. Um, and they like transmit energy between each other, kind of connecting in the middle above this hole. They're also connecting to kind of it's, as I'm perceiving it, it's like connected uh, um, to the core of the earth, or
Mhm.
in that direction at least. And another one is like emitting um, above,
Mhm.
and in some way connecting to the other pole, which has the same construction.
This net that you perceive, that you just described, is it on the physical plane or on the metaphysical plane?
Mm. It's also in the metaphysical, And I see that on the physical, there's also some type of similar thing,
Hmm.
but the energy that I saw is on the metaphysical.
And how does this energy on the metaphysical impact the conditions on Earth? What does this net provide? How, what are the benefits of this net or the disadvantages of this net for the Earth, for the people on Earth? Tell me everything you perceive about this.
Mhm. I perceive a forceful um, kind of attempt of changing the world's direction or how the planet moves, something of that sort.
Hmm.
And that automatically changes things in the physical of mm, constructs that were built by people that are not used to other conditions than the ones that they were built with, if that makes sense.
What is the purpose of wanting to change the way the planet turns, moves?
Mm. It also has to do with speed at which it happens, and I
Okay.
see it having a correlation with the frequency of the Earth.
Hmm.
It's like trying to manipulate that because the people are automatically kind of related to the energy of the Earth, not related but affected by it.
Hmm. So, as we live in a dual world, do you perceive this change of frequency that they're trying to do um, as good or as bad? Like, is the purpose
Mm,
of raising the frequency of the earth or of lowering the frequencies of the earth?
hmm. Um, it's kind of it's taking me longer because it's kind of like a mixed response. Um, because I was perceiving raising and um, lowering. It was confusing,
Mm.
and um, I'm perceiving that um, no matter what kind of direction they take, it's not going to have the consequences they think it will have.
Why?
So I'm perceiving that if they try to lower kind of the vibrations,
Yeah,
it will backfire and do the total opposite.
yeah,
That's what I'm perceiving. It's like a forced pull. You know, when you like take a rubber band and you stretch it
yeah.
and then you leave it and it hits you really hard. That's like the effect that I'm perceiving. It's like you stretch something to a point where it just
It just
bounces back.
backfires. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you perceive it as not working.
Mm, Eventually in the future, no.
Okay. Do you perceive any beings around this net? Any people, any beings
Mm,
that are tasked with maintenance, let's say, or the good functioning of this net?
I do. Um, they appear to me like some type of guardians. Very furry.
Furry?
Furry, yes, with a white fur.
Are they big? Are they small?
They're big. It's like not sure if that's the right thing. Bigfoot?
Yeah.
That's yeah, they appear to me in that manner, like a Bigfoot.
Okay.
And with like big poles. Oh, it's actually them in the metaphysical holding the poles that I saw in the physical, the two
Yeah.
besides the hole. It's like two of them, each one at a different pole, like holding them.
And is this their job, their role to hold the poles?
Yeah.
Do you perceive any DNA they might have, the Bigfoot guys or
Mm.
girls?
Um, I'm not perceiving like an extraterrestrial being, but it's more of a technological DNA. It's like something with AI.
Okay.
That's why they look funny.
Yeah. Okay. The guardians of the net.
Hmm.
Now, Anastasia, with everything we know now, go exactly to the moment where, well, advance the time to the moment where the electricity cuts, to the moment of the blackout. And tell me what's happening with the net and the Bigfoot guys.
Mm.
What's happening there in this scenario at the moment of the blackout?
It's like they were doing trial and errors, more like a trial. Okay. And I see the scenarios of both parts, like both poles of the earth, both construction sites.
Mhm.
And in that moment, there was a pulse that was emitted from both of the sides.
Yeah.
And I see them kind of circling around Earth and meeting at one point. Um, but instead of kind of having a fluid reaction and interacting with each other, they bumped these energies. And it was like an um how do I say it? Electroshock.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of thing visually.
And you mentioned that it was an attempt on a metaphysical plane, it was an attempt of changing temporal lines.
Hmm.
To what temporal line they would have wanted to go to?
In which this technology or whatever this construction site it is,
Mhm.
uh, to align where this works for them.
Oh, okay, okay. The changing of the poles.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, place in front of yourself one screen in which you will see on the metaphysical plane and one screen in which you will see the physical plane so that we can have both of them.
Hmm.
Okay? Do you perceive that this blackout has anything to do with digitalization, the internet, banking, crypto money, anything that has to do with digital, with the world digital?
It does.
Do you perceive they have implemented something in that way during the electricity cut?
Implemented.
Implemented, yeah, something on the networks or something like that. If not, it's fine. I'm just asking.
Mm. I don't really see a correlation,
Okay.
but I saw the correlation with digital because if this technology is implemented, it will be a great way to steal candy from kids,
Okay. What kind of candy?
like digital stuff.
Digital candy. Okay.
Hmm.
Do you perceive that this blackout was a test for the population?
Mm, no, not really. And it comes to me that everything is a
A
test for the
test.
population.
Well, in light of recent events, when we discussed in the fixed part about the collective consciousness, you said that certainly there is fear, there's confusion, but there's also a wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
And the recent events were charged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you, why is it all happening so fast?
By all, what do you mean?
I don't want to influence you, so I'm going to ask another question, but just keep this one in mind. Okay. So, do you perceive that this blackout is related to the death of the Pope, to the announcement of the death of the Pope?
Mm, no, not really. It's two like different different plans.
Hmm. Now,
This one, but this one,
yeah.
I perceived mm, just seconds earlier, was like an infiltration through networks of a AI. That's what I perceived when you asked if something was infiltrated, or I don't remember the question.
Yeah. If they
The inform
place something on the
Yeah,
network,
exactly. Now the image came to me of some type of infiltration.
describe how do you perceive this AI infiltration?
Um, it's like some type of mm, not really virus, but it acts like a virus can be perceived as one. Um, a kind of like little um presences in banking and on the internet in like uh, a lot of apps that people use.
Yeah.
Um, it's like a background watcher,
Hmm.
um, which is already an infiltration because it watches without consent. Is there.
And what's the purpose of this AI presence that watches without our consent? Why?
Um, it's some sort of influencing through information. So it reads um, all sorts of information from different sources, um, from wherever it's placed, and it's reflecting that on the screen that you see. So it's kind of like reading what you want and giving it to you. Or
And
like, yeah,
how, why still? Why, why does one person need to
it's like
go through that?
connecting people to the network.
At the brain level?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And how can that impact a person?
You're no longer present. You're no longer kind of living the human experience. You're more um, robotized. And I see in some cases it can lead to hybridation, but an AI one.
What kind of population is more affected by this? What groups of age?
I see a lot of kids.
Well, okay.
Kids and corporate, the corporate world.
So let's say young adults
Y-
mostly.
yeah, not only. Can be all ages, but especially the ones that are in corporate.
Why, especially the ones that are in corporate?
Mm, it's like turning into a very lifeless environment, but it's the perfect kind of place to do this thing naturally. It's like always surrounded by screens, rules, new guidelines, new bosses, and it's easier to, you know,
Mhm.
influence.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Now, focus on the physical plane. Disconnect from everything, from all this information, and go on the physical plane on the date of 28th of April, on the date of the blackout. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said that um, some countries were involved, some countries knew, and some countries were involved. What countries were aware of this blackout?
Hmm. Um, the first one that came to me is China.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, Israel,
Mhm.
hmm, but also France
Okay.
and some people from Spain.
Okay. Do you perceive that Trump and Zelensky had anything to do? Is there any link between Trump, Zelensky, and the blackout?
Hmm. I'm perceiving that Trump had had the idea, uh, not the idea to do it. He had the knowledge of this happening,
Hmm. Okay.
but him personally,
Okay. Did he somehow participate in this?
no,
Um, so you said he was aware of this
yeah.
happening. So do you perceive any link between the blackout and the exit of the United States from the Paris Energy Accord, energy
Treaty.
treaty? That the energy treaty is part of the climatic agenda 2030, which means going to renewable energy. Do you perceive any link between the blackout and the exit of the United States from this treaty since Trump is the president?
I do.
What is the
Mm.
link?
Um,
But
exactly because he
yeah.
knew he was aware of the processes going behind. It was like a retrieval plan to, in a way, isolate the population from the beliefs that are globalized about energy and kind of trying to redirect some ideas redirect the understanding of people.
Okay, so do you perceive that the blackout is a punishment for Spain on the physical plane, of course?
Mm. It was supposed to be eventually, because I perceived it more like an error.
Yeah.
But if it would have been intentional,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay. Um, do you perceive any link between the blackout and the how do I say this? And the Klaus Schwab, the ex-president of the Worldwide Economic Forum, left the Economic Forum. Do you perceive any link between these two?
Mm, not really.
Okay. Relating to Europe, do you, in the future, you perceive more blackouts? Are there any blackouts that you perceive in the future in Europe?
Yes. Yes. Some of them, yes.
So why? You said it was intentional, domino effect to interrupt gatherings, to limit the population.
Hmm.
So in Europe, why do you perceive there will be more blackouts? What is the reason?
Um, I perceive them in places that are already kind of on a low energetically,
Mm-hmm,
but also in places like touristic places. So the first country that I perceived was Italy,
mm-hmm,
and the first site that I saw was a touristic site, and the blackout had the intention of um, what is it? Kind of provoking a type of frequency from the people there,
mm-hmm.
especially alarmed tourists.
Yeah.
So that was one intention. Um, and the second one, causing a sense of hopelessness um, in the country consciousness
Mm-hmm.
that would be used as an instrument of forcing them to take a certain decision.
The people, forcing the people.
Yes, the people, the country
Mm-hmm.
in general, the government.
Okay. What type of decisions?
Um, is something dealing with the involvement of Italy in some type of international projects or projects that want to be implemented in Italy. Um, yeah, those things. I don't know if you want something more specific.
Yeah, what kind of projects?
Um,
Related to what?
hmm, um, not really something political. I see something more um technology wise, some type of antennas, but implemented in the country, um, like in the rural sites of Italy.
Okay. Oh, countryside, yeah.
Countryside, yeah.
Okay. And when do you perceive this will take place in the future? In how much time? Approximately, of course.
On this timeline, like 5 years.
Okay. Okay. Now, disconnect from this information, Anastasia, and I'm circling back to my question. Is there a reason that all these big events for the population are happening in such short time, in a such short time frame? And I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about the announcement of the death of the Pope, the blackout, everything.
Mm. I'm perceiving some type of timeline,
Yeah,
but it's like a clock, a matrix clock. Um,
matrix clock.
yes,
Okay.
but some part of it that at a certain period kind of not really resets, but another word doesn't come to me, like a light reset of events happens, like a neutral state. Mm, yeah, some type of reset comes to me.
In the collective consciousness,
Hmm.
also in the physical plane, a reset for internet, electricity, energy in general.
Yeah, more mild reset, but mm, not like a control alt delete,
Yeah.
but more of like dismantling some ideas, some basics of this society.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. My last question is, what do you perceive about this phrase? And I will tell you the phrase. You can't tell the truth to the people. You have to show them to expose it to the light of the day in order for the people to ask the right questions.
Mm. Um, I do perceive it happening, this phrase,
Mhm,
but it's been happening for quite some years. It hasn't begun just now.
mhm.
And I see that this truth that is talked about is a manifestation of created by people, not by anyone else. It's kind of them um, mirroring on a subconscious level their truth in front of them.
So a big co-creation.
Yeah.
Do you perceive on a global level that people are starting to ask themselves the right questions?
Oh, yes, I see that process of like taking out the truth from you and putting it in front of you um, in a lot of people.
So just creating their own realities.
Yes, kind of um, undressing everything that they've known and putting the facts straight in front of them.
unlearning.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful, very good. Anastasia, do you have any other important information about the blackout of the 28th of April 2025?
No, I feel like I've said everything.
Okay, perfect. Now I will count from 1 to 3, and at 3, you will be fully in the present moment. 1, disconnect completely from everything, everywhere, everyone, every perception you had, and return fully to your body. Your space is clean and you are feeling better and better. Raise your frequencies to your highest levels. 2, your body begins to feel lighter and stronger. Your energy is coming back to your hands, to your feet, and to every inch of your body. And you can start moving it, and you feel a sense of happiness, a sense of peace, of freedom, of possibilities. And 3, you can open your eyes. Welcome back.
Hi.
How are you? How do you feel?
I'm great.
Did you like it?
Yes.
I asked a lot of political questions than in other investigations because I inspired myself with the others investigations I did on the same subject. And I find it very interesting, the digitalization part and the infiltration in the system of the AI. That's something that came out pretty often. And yeah, I hope I didn't walk you through many scenarios too much. But yeah, very interesting. And I think we live in a time that's very interesting indeed,
Mm,
just to sit back and watch everything happening. It's great. Yeah. So
yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Anastasia.
Thank you, Ioana.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, for listening to us once again. I really hope you liked it too. And once again, if you want to be here with us to ask your questions about the subjects that we're doing, you can send an email to investigations@calogerogrifasi.com. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day, night. Bye.
Buenos días.
Dzień dobry.
Bienvenidos a este primer vídeo de Disclosure en español y polaco.
Bardzo Was serdecznie witamy na tym nowym wideo, które będzie w języku hiszpańskim i polskim na kanale Disclosures.
Vamos a producir mucho más vídeos en futuro como estos vídeos informativos.
W przyszłości stworzymy dużo więcej takich wideo, które będą Was informowały o różnych rzeczach.
Porque estamos notando que cuanto más se va divulgando este trabajo, estas hipnosis por internet, también cuanto más mala información se está difundiendo.
A to dlatego, że zauważyliśmy, że im więcej wstawiamy sesji z naszymi hipnozami, tym więcej jakby informacji sprzecznych zaczyna się rozprzestrzeniać.
Y entonces hoy vamos a hablar de las sesiones investigativas.
Więc dzisiaj będziemy mówić o sesjach badawczych.
Porque estoy viendo que hay personas que a lo mejor se dedican a una sesión con una persona, se van a algún lugar, preguntan algo y lo poco de información que pueden extraer de una sesión se lo creen como si fuera oro, completamente puro oro.
Bo zauważyłem, że są takie sesje i takie osoby, które robią jedną sesję z jedną osobą na dany temat i kiedy wychodzi tam jakaś informacja, to jest ona odbierana jakby to było rzeczywiście coś niesamowicie wiarygodnego, jakby to było czyste złoto.
Yo os digo que la sesión así dicha investigativa no existe.
Ja chciałbym Wam powiedzieć, że sesja badawcza tak naprawdę nie istnieje.
Entonces podríais como preguntar, entonces cuando haces una sesión a un cliente y preguntas cosas, ¿por qué preguntas?
Więc mógłbyś mi zadać pytanie, więc skoro robisz jakąś sesję z jakąś osobą i zadajesz jej pytania, to właściwie po co je w ogóle zadajesz?
Sí, sabemos que la información en hipnosis está muy, pero de verdad muy contaminada.
My bardzo dobrze wiemy, że informacja, która wychodzi podczas hipnozy, jest niezwykle, ale to niezwykle zanieczyszczona.
Y esa información, así como sale de la hipnosis, no podemos tomarla como conocimiento, como investigación.
Więc takiej informacji, która wychodzi podczas sesji hipnozy, nie bierzemy nigdy jako takiej informacji, która jest rzeczywiście bardzo prawdziwa, zgodna z prawdą i oczywista.
En el caso de sesiones a clientes, la información que sacamos nos sirve por otro objetivo. El objetivo es llegar a la causa de su problema y trabajar.
Te informacje, które uzyskujemy podczas sesji dla klientów, służą nam zupełnie do czegoś innego. Celem jest to, żeby znaleźć przyczynę i pracować nad nią.
Pero ¿qué significa que la información está contaminada? ¿Cuánto está contaminada y por qué?
Ale co to właściwie oznacza informacja zanieczyszczona? Kiedy jest zanieczyszczona i dlaczego jest zanieczyszczona?
Hay que saber que cuando nosotros pedimos una información y nos llega a través de una persona en hipnosis, esta información sale de una fuente, para así decirlo, y atraviesa muchas dimensiones, muchas densidades.
Kiedy prosimy o jakąś informację podczas sesji, to ta informacja, powiedzmy to w ten sposób, pochodzi z jakiegoś źródła, ale w międzyczasie przechodzi przez wiele gęstości i wiele wymiarów.
Y también pasa por conciencias, por inteligencias. Esa información viene atrapada en el éter por varios seres.
Ale ta informacja przechodzi też przez wiele umysłów, wiele świadomości, istnieje w eterze i może być przechwycona również przez wiele bytów.
Estos seres, estas inteligencias, pueden voluntariamente o involuntariamente distorsionarla.
I te byty, te istoty lub świadomości mogą ją zniekształcić świadomie lub nieświadomie.
Y además, la persona que está en hipnosis tiene sus creencias, su mentalidad, sus perspectivas, sus opiniones. Esta estructura mental contamina también esta información.
A co więcej, osoba, która jest w stanie hipnozy, ma swoje własne przekonania, swoje własne wartości i wierzenia, swoją własną mentalność i przez tą właśnie strukturę całą mentalną również może dojść do jeszcze kolejnego zanieczyszczenia.
Y además, si nosotros queremos investigar, por ejemplo, una persona o un ser que no tiene ninguna conexión con el ambiente hipnótico donde estamos trabajando, esta persona puede no autorizar la salida de informaciones de sí mismo.
A co więcej, jeśli połączymy się z jakąś istotą, która absolutnie nie należy do tego środowiska hipnotycznego, w którym pracujemy, taka istota może nie zgodzić się na przekazanie informacji.
Si hay interacción, si hay interferencias entre un ser y otro, es posible que circule información por las conexiones, por los pactos.
Jeśli jest jakaś interferencja między dwoma istotami, to wtedy dzięki tym paktom, albo przez te pakty, przez to połączenie, które istnieje, rzeczywiście wychodzą informacje.
Pero si en aquella sesión en concreto ese ser o esa persona se va a cuestionar y no hay ninguna conexión, es muy improbable que llegue una información autorizada.
Ale jeśli zdarza się tak, że łączymy się z istotą, która nie ma z tym nic wspólnego, to jest bardzo mało prawdopodobne, że dostaniemy jakąś informację.
Entonces, imaginemos que queremos investigar sobre un personaje famoso de la historia.
No, na przykład wyobraźmy sobie, że chcielibyśmy otrzymać informację o jakiejś osobie niezwykle znanej, historycznej.
Si no tenemos de alguna manera alguna conexión con los elementos del ambiente hipnótico y esta persona, aunque no esté conectada, no autoriza esta información, pues no llega.
Więc jeśli wyobrazimy sobie, że ta osoba nie jest w żaden sposób połączona z tym środowiskiem hipnotycznym, w którym pracujemy, może się tak zdarzyć, że absolutnie nie zezwoli na żadne przekazywanie informacji na swój temat.
Y cuando pasa esto, hay siempre o casi siempre alguna entidad que se aprovecha de la situación.
I kiedy to się dzieje, zazwyczaj pojawia się jakiś byt, który wykorzystuje tę sytuację.
Se puede presentar con la supuesta identidad de la persona o del ser que estamos buscando, o puede de todas formas modificar o inventar una información por su cuenta, por su personal ventaja.
Może zrobić dwie rzeczy. Albo przyjąć, zidentyfikować się z osobą, o której chcemy zrobić tę sesję, przyjąć jej tożsamość, albo zmienić informacje, które chcielibyśmy otrzymać, tak aby to działało na jej korzyść.
Nosotros en sesión a clientes podemos trabajar porque el cliente nos autoriza a trabajar en él en su sesión.
Podczas sesji dla klientów możemy pracować nad takimi informacjami, bo otrzymujemy zgodę na informacje właśnie dzięki temu klientowi.
Y podemos trabajar con sus seres queridos, por ejemplo, o con los seres que interfieren con ella, propio porque hay estas conexiones.
I możemy pracować na przykład z istotami, które kocha ta dana osoba, lub z bytami, które w nią ingerują, właśnie przez to połączenie, które tam istnieje.
Entonces, hay una gran diferencia entre la sesión a un cliente para solucionar sus problemas y hacer sesiones para investigar.
Dlatego istnieje taka duża różnica między sesjami, które robimy dla klientów, aby rozwiązać ich problemy, i między sesjami takimi poszukiwawczymi, badawczymi.
Por eso digo que no existe una sesión investigativa.
I dlatego właśnie Wam mówię, że nie istnieje coś takiego jak sesja badawcza.
Lo que existe es un protocolo de sesiones de investigación.
To, co istnieje, to pewien protokół sesji badawczych.
Hay que seguir un protocolo y hay que seguir, ejecutar una serie de sesiones y con personas diferentes.
Więc trzeba zawsze śledzić ten sam protokół, a jednocześnie wykonać wiele sesji z różnymi osobami.
El protocolo tiene que ser único, unívoco, porque hay que preguntar en un tema las mismas preguntas para ir en la misma dirección.
Ten protokół powinien być zawsze taki sam, ponieważ należy zadawać takie same pytania, tak aby iść zawsze w tym samym kierunku.
Cuanto más está restringido este espacio de investigación, cuanto más podemos tener más probabilidad de tener buena información.
Im bardziej zawężamy obszar naszych poszukiwań, tym bardziej prawdopodobne będzie, że otrzymamy dobre informacje.
Sí, podemos también aumentar este espacio, pero tenemos que aumentar proporcionalmente el número de sesiones por hacer.
Możemy oczywiście rozszerzyć ten obszar, ale wtedy będziemy zmuszeni również rozszerzyć ilość tych sesji.
Luego, cuando tenemos una grande serie de sesiones, pero estamos hablando de centenas o hasta de millares de sesiones.
I wtedy mówimy o olbrzymiej liczbie sesji, od setki po tysiące.
Tenemos que recoger toda aquella información que es común a todas o a casi todas estas sesiones hechas.
I wtedy musimy pozbierać te informacje, które są wspólne dla wszystkich bądź prawie wszystkich tych sesji.
Esta información común vais a ver que es un porcentaje muy pequeño con respecto a la totalidad de la información.
I zobaczycie, że ta informacja wspólna będzie naprawdę niewielkim odsetkiem tych informacji, które się tam pojawią.
Son pepitas de oro.
To są takie malutkie ziarenka.
Es como si nosotros vamos a un río, vamos a coger este filtro, vamos a coger muchísima arena para recoger solo muy pocas pepitillas de oro.
I można to przyrównać do poszukiwania złota, kiedy filtruje się dno rzeki, zbiera się mnóstwo piasku, a na koniec pojawiają się maleńkie ziarenka złota.
Esa sí que es información de oro.
I to jest właśnie ta informacja złota.
Si hoy podemos decir que hay seres que interfieren bastante con el ser humano y que tienen formas de animales reptiles o de animales a forma de insectos, etcétera, es porque todo esto sale desde que se empezaron las sesiones de hipnosis y hay muchísimas, millares y millares con esta información común.
I jeśli dzisiaj możemy powiedzieć, że są ingerencje, które przybierają formy albo reptilii, albo jakichś insektów, to dlatego, że takie informacje wychodzą od początku naszych sesji hipnotycznych i są wspólne i jest ich tysiące.
Pero si yo digo que en la ciudad de Nueva York, en el 1452, en aquel punto, había una casa que vivía un viejo que se llamaba Tom, pues solo en aquella sesión ha salido y cuanto más contaminada puede ser, no lo va a saber nadie.
Ale jeśli chciałabym powiedzieć, przekazać taką informację, że w Nowym Jorku w 1452 roku stał taki a taki dom, w którym mieszkał taki a taki starszy pan o imieniu Tom, to nie mam pojęcia, jak bardzo zanieczyszczona będzie ta informacja.
Así entonces se hace investigación. Es un trabajo muy largo, muy duro y tiene que ser hecho con un protocolo riguroso y severo.
A więc właśnie w taki sposób należy robić sesje badawcze. Jest to proces bardzo długi, ciężki i który wymaga bardzo restrykcyjnego protokołu.
Y entonces por esto que nosotros ya vamos a empezar a hacer ciclos de investigación.
I właśnie dlatego zaczniemy teraz robić takie cykle badawcze.
La estructura del team, que cada vez va creciendo siempre más, y el número de clientes que cada día contactan con nosotros, nos permiten organizar estos ciclos de investigación.
I ponieważ struktura naszego zespołu cały czas się powiększa, a także liczba klientów, którzy kontaktują się z nami każdego dnia, te czynniki pozwalają nam na to, żebyśmy zrobili taki cykl badawczy.
Creo que ya he dicho todo, o casi todo. Cualquier pregunta podéis escribirla en los comentarios del vídeo o donde sea publicado el vídeo.
Myślę, że powiedziałem wszystko, bądź prawie wszystko, a jeśli macie jakieś pytania, to proszę zadajcie je pod tym wideo.
Gracias por vuestra atención.
Dziękujemy za Waszą uwagę.
Y gracias a ti, Milena.
Gracias a ti, Calo. Dziękujemy.
Chao.
Ciao.